Welcome back to another video, guys. Thank you for clicking. As you see from the title of the video, today we are going to be talking about 5 ways resistance training saved me from anxiety. Yes, I had anxiety when I was younger. A lot of people do. It's just life. What can you do? Anyway, read the description if you want a quick background and introduction or intro, almost background intro to the video. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So, do you feel that you live with constant thoughts circling in your mind day in and day out? Sometimes these thoughts lead you to feel uncomfortable and sometimes to think in awkward ways. Well, I would say almost 99% of the world lives this way, with the exception of a few monks and gurus. The other 99% of us are literally stuck living in with these thoughts. But what if I told you there was a way to take control of them? What if I told you there was a way to beat the anxiety in your mind and to use your thoughts to your advantage? Would you then listen, or at least take my advice? This video will outline 4 ways on how resistance training saved me from my anxiety, the current situation I was in, and how I managed it from getting worse. My thesis, or point that I will be proving throughout this video, is so simple. It's to convince you to start resistance training right now. But since this video is an academic one, let's keep it somewhat academic. Regular participation in resistance training empowers individuals to assert command over their thoughts, mindset, and physical well-being, ultimately fostering a life devoid of anxiety. My anxiety originated from overall weakness in the mind and the body. I was not, by all means, an exceptional child. I was really never good at any sort of sports and was always the last pick on any sort of school team. Why? That's a great question. Honestly, because I didn't have parents that pushed sports as much as other children's parents did. Mine focused on education. What was the result of that? A child who didn't really enjoy school and was unconfident when it came to anything activity related. I didn't get to be picked on the sports teams. I didn't have any sports skills, so that definitely spiraled into my anxiety. I didn't have a problem making friends because socially I was confident. I grew up in a house with 4 other siblings, so communicating and getting along with others really came quite easily to me. When it came to my appearance, though, I was a kid for a long time that was afraid to take his shirt off in the change room because I thought I was going to get laughed at. This brings me to my first point. When I began resistance training, only after a while I was able to see the benefits, but my strength increased, leading to my muscle mass increasing, and as a result of this, my overall physical performance and overall fitness was compounding. Muscles began to grow at a rapid rate, leading me to feel so much more confident with my body and who I was as a person. To support this argument, besides my personal life experience, I found an article in which, according to Vigres et al. 2019, the strength type RT group showed an increase in body weight attributed exclusively to the increase in low body mass, as there was a slight decrease in fat mass. Page 937. As you train for longer periods of time and stay consistent, your lean body mass will increase and your fat mass will decrease, which in turn will lead you to be more confident with a stronger frame because of the strength and size that you put on your body. Which leads perfectly to the next point that I wanted to make, as how your health is directly correlated to your mental state. Mental health, physical health, equally balanced. Before I started resistance training, because I did not have too much care for my body, I would eat and drink anything anyone offered me. all the processed foods possible, which in tail led me to get fat and sick quite often. My health was not in the most optimal shape. Nobody wanted to hang out with someone that would possibly get them sick or slow them down. Whether you're going on a bike ride with your friends, I was always the last kid in the back. Whether you're playing soccer, nobody wanted to pass the ball to me because they knew I wasn't able to carry along the team and pass it properly, or they're afraid I'm gonna mess up. Anyway, my overall health wasn't the best scenario, which really messed with my head. The saying, "you are what you eat," really played a big part in this, because I didn't watch what I was putting into my stomach, and as a result of that, I struggled with losing weight and staying healthy, which made me feel anxious. As soon as I started seeing results with resistance training, I knew I didn't want to go back but forward. It was almost a natural response to start watching what I put in my body, because I was sick of taking one step forward and 2 steps back. Similarly, in the article according to Thomas et al. 2017, patients increased their physical activity and trended towards positive diet compliance during this resistance training program, page A26. As you start to pull yourself into one direction and give yourself proof of progress, you will be less inclined to fall back into your past cycles. With time, my mind was starting to clear. I didn't have brain fog, from all the processed foods I was consuming, which led me to think straight and made my actions more intentional. Moving towards the next point that I would like to talk about, which is delayed gratification. What is that? Well, it's something that this society lacks because of the social media and the internet. We have everything at the touch of our fingertips. Our dopamine levels are constantly firing, scrolling through these media applications, leaving little room to do activities which delay gratification. Reading books, resistance training, taking on big projects, going to school, getting our master's degree. Nobody wants to do those hard, difficult things in life anymore. Why would we pursue something which is difficult and doesn't bring instant gratification when we can go waste time on Instagram and get stimulated that way? Instant gratification is another argument that I would like to bring up that led to my anxiety that needed to be solved as soon as possible. As soon as I learned about raising the reward, which was living without anxiety and having a body and a mind that I'm happy with, I was hooked. Similarly, as stated by Gao et al. 2021, the reward rate increased steadily, indicating that the mice were successfully learning to successfully delay gratification, page 2. As I was able to raise my goal that I was going to strive for, I was able to put aside my anxiety unconsciously to focus on the bigger task at hand. When you have such a big goal in mind, you can't focus on the little things that are constantly bringing you anxiety because you see the bigger thing. And stress, which is another topic, is actually a really good thing for you. Mediocre stress. And when you're stressed to achieve this goal that you have here, your anxiety for all these little things just disappears. Somehow. I really don't know. I'm not a chemist. Originally, when I first got into the gym industry and started watching videos of how people looked, it was a typical movie star actor. Shredded, big abs, big muscles, and a chiseled jawline. Just like most people, I thought that I was going to be able to get this with little effort in the beginning. I thought 1 to 3 months and boom, I looked exactly like them. And my goals would be achieved, but weeks after weeks, with not seeing any progress, I slowly started understanding that only after years of training would this desired dream body with confidence and no anxiety come to me. How did delaying gratification allow me to overcome my anxiety? Well, for most of my anxiety stemmed from not getting what I wanted immediately and not knowing how the future would turn out, just like most people's. Training taught me that with patience, consistency, and discipline, everything will work out. Pun intended, by the way. Even now, 3 years into training, I am not where I want to be, because I know that this is a lifetime journey. But, understanding delayed gratification, I know I am in it until the very end. Transitioning into the biggest benefit that resistance training has provided me, I did not start resistance training knowing about all the brain chemical alterations that was going to happen to me. Neither did I know that I would overall feel better as a human being. But after doing research and putting the pieces together, I now understand how all these aspects tied in together to overall cure my anxiety. When resistance training, something is released in your mind called endorphins, and these are naturally cure anxiety and reduce stress, the bad stress, not the good stress. So yes, physically and mentally I was getting healthier, but also as a fact, biologically and chemically, things were being released in my mind that was helping me deal with this anxiety. As Toad and Lavelle 2011 state, single acute bouts of aerobic exercise result in a significant improvement in various transitory psychological states, including feelings of basic pleasure, mood, positive affect, and stress-related emotions such as states of anxiety. Page 109. After each training session, even if I was having a bad day or going through something, because at the end of the day, we all go through something as humans, everything seemed to be better. The perspective resistance training gave me was such a positive one that it eliminated my anxiety. If you do suffer from anxiety, I hope that my personal life experience story was able to help out in some sort of way. I opened up and did get personal because I believe that persuading somebody to start something is to relate them on a human level. I hope that my real life human experiences were somewhat relatable. And I know that many people also suffer from anxiety, and that these facts about resistance training, paired with my personal experiences, convinces you to start resistance training today. Remember, the best time to start was 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. But just in case you are not yet convinced, and there is still some sort of doubt in your mind, from this article, according to Tyler et al. 2023, resistance training is also an effective treatment option for several neurological and psychological disorders. PTSD, bipolar disorder, any of these sort of psychological disorders that we still don't understand, resistance training may help. So even if you don't suffer from anxiety, maybe you suffer from something else, do the research yourself, and I assure you, you will be and have a much better overall life experience. Page 3, by the way. We all know how difficult neurological and psychological disorders can be to treat, and to see how powerful resistance training is, that it assists in treatment with these disorders, shows the possibilities of how one can really transform their life with this simple habit. In conclusion, I hope that after watching this video and listening to my life story of the ways that I dealt with anxiety, how resistance training helped me battle and conquer my mind, overall your life is in your hands. But if there is any way that I was able to persuade and hopefully inspire you to start a new habit, that this would be the one. For 2024, guys, New Year's is maybe I think 3 weeks away. I'm just guessing off the top of my head. Don't quote me on that one. 2024. New year, new you. We all live in a world now where everything is so easy. We don't have to hunt for our food, scared to build or find shelter to survive the night, or have constant stress of fight or flight because we lived in a civilized society. So what's our biggest issue now? Let me tell you. Well, since we have the whole world at our fingertips, literally, our phone, just in case you didn't get that, we spend so much time in our thoughts. The thoughts that we each carry have become the new fight or flight that we must conquer or risk being conquered by. We live in our minds 24/7. So why don't we start by making it an amazing experience to live in our minds by eliminating, piece by piece, the things that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. If you struggle with anxiety, I encourage you to start resistance training because this is how I dealt and conquered mine. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really do. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, share it with somebody who's also dealing with anxiety and might benefit from it. And in the comments, if you battle through anxiety, how was your experience? Write it down. Let's start something. Reach out. Let's talk. Feel free to share in the comments down below. Anyway, have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.